us. There we go. I'm just going to move that over there. Oop. Not that over there. That over there. Right.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitzanu b'mitzvotav v'tizvanu la'havik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign in the universe, who hallows us with mitzvah, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to call Rachel up next to lead us in Kiddush. We're going to turn to page 123 in the Siddur. Advance the page.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kadsho b'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit. Ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim ki vanu v'achar taviotanu ki dashta mikol ha'amim v'shabat kodshecha b'ahavahu ratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
Amen.
This is why Robin sings when I lead.
Shabbat Shalom. We're going to continue on page 125. Let's read together in English. Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished. Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time. Contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world this day. On this day, Shabbat, abide. And we'll continue on page 138 with Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, la la la, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmianu el hamiyukad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem u'tiferet, V'helitila lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, la la la, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם נשוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, לה לה לה, פני שבת נקבלה. מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, קום מצאי מתוך ההפכה. רב לך שבט בעמק הבכה, והוא יחמול עלייכם. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, לה לה לה, פני שבת נקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי, ואת אדוני תריצי. על יד איש בן פרצי, ונשמחה ונגילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, לה לה לה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, לה לה לה, פני שבת נקבלה. Let's turn to page 140 now for Psalm 92, Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, the psalm for the day of Shabbat. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות. עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בכינור. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שמחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך רנן. מה גודלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. Right, folks, finally we'll turn to page 142. 142 for Shalom Aleichem. I'm going to use a little bit of a different melody for this evening. I'm sure you'll catch on pretty quick. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Mi Melech, Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leshalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Kadosh Baruch Hu, Mi Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Mi Melech, Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Mi Melech, Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. All right, folks, let's turn now to page 145, page 145. I invite you to read with me in English. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time, even at unlikely times and through unlikely places. There is no place on earth without the presence. All right, let's turn to page 146, and I'll invite you to rise with me if you're able and comfortable doing so tonight for the Baruch. Baruch et Adonai hamvavorach. Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam vaed. Going to continue on page 149. Please feel free to have a seat. And let's read in English. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai hamariv aravim. Let's turn to the next page, page 150, and we'll sing Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Avta, Amcha Avta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shokbeinu, uvkumenu nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei toratecha, uv'mitzvotecha le'olam voed, ki hem chayenu, ve'yorech yameinu, uvahem negeh yomam v'lala, miavatcha al tasir, mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Let's rise again if you're able and comfortable doing so this evening as we turn to page 152 for the opening of the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem, Kavod Malchuto, Leolam Vahed. Feel free to have a seat. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha ve'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam B'shivtecha b'veitecha, uv'lechtecha v'aderech, uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha, u'kshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot bein einecha, u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uv'yisharecha. Lemahan tizkaruhu vasitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim leloechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot nachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet. We're going to continue in English on page 157. Let's read together. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be at one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Page 158. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nerar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osefele. Malchutecha ra'uvanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze'elianu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, ve'nemar kifad Adonai et Yaakov, u'ge'olom yad chazak mimenu, baruch atah Adonai gal Yisrael. Going to continue on page 161, and we'll read together in English again. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. All right, folks, we're turning now to page 162. Yismechu v'malchutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat, ve'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malchutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat, ve'korei oneg Shabbat. Hamekadeshei Shevi, Mekadeshei Shevi Shabbat, Kulam yisbehu ve'itangu mituvecha Shabbat, Yismechu v'malchutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malchutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. That's weird, missing a slide. Anyway, let's turn forward to page 164. And I'll invite you to rise with me if you're able and comfortable doing so tonight for the evening tefillah. Adonai sifatai tiftachu fi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Page 166. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'Nehem Laman Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye Metim Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach Umorid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye Metim Berachamim Rabim, Sahomech Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Bal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'nemanata L'chayot Metim, Baruch atah Adonai Mechayeh HaMetim. Please feel free to have a seat, and we'll continue on page 171. Let's read together in English. Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Baruch atah Adonai El HaKadosh. Let's turn to page 173, and we'll read. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger and find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 174. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu b'yamcha Yisrael, utfilatam b'yava tekabel, utehil ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha, el karov lechol korav, Pnei elavadecha v'chonenu shefok ruchacha aleinu, v'techezena einenu b'shuvcha l'tzion berachamim, Baruch atah Adonai, hamachazir shchinato l'tzion. Going to turn to page 176 now. What's up, Evan? I'm sorry, what went down? You lost the slide when that. Okay. I'll reshare. we go. So we're going to turn to page 176, and as we generally do tonight, we're going to give folks a chance to mention something that they're feeling grateful for tonight or something that they've experienced as a blessing in their life this week. So we'll read together in English first, and then just raise your hand if you'd like to share something, and we'll get the mic passed around to you so that everybody can hear. So let's read. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. All right, if you'd like to share something, just raise your hand or signal on Zoom and we'll get to you as well.
Actually, I'm very grateful for having power because I've heard the news that there were plenty of people in Tioga and Chemung and other counties around us who do not have power. So I'm grateful for the power and the heat and the warmth, especially since it's so cold out.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm thankful for all the friends I've made here at Temple Concord over the last 2 years. I'm so really grateful for the friendships that I've developed over the last 2 years.
Thank you.
I'm thankful for being able to visit my family here in Binghamton from Rochester, and again that we have power because it's very cold. Not as cold as Rochester, though.
Thanks, Sebastian. We're really grateful to have you with us as well. This is my son, Sebastian, folks. I don't know if some of you know him. So I'm really grateful for a awesome week that I've had a chance to hang out with our kids, which we have not had a chance to, have a large group of them here with us for quite a while. And also just for the opportunity to, work with Ross on all the kind of fixings of the holiday and making dinners and figuring out meal plans and groceries and all that kind of stuff. It's always a real blessing in my life when we're able to spend time working on little things like that together. Is there anyone on Zoom I haven't been, that's been signaling? Okay. Oh, hey there. Is that Maureen? All right, go for it.
I am really thankful that we got together with our very enlarged and expansive family for Thanksgiving. We're a lot of kids. It was chaotic. Kids from 14 to 2, but it was so much fun. It always is.
Is that better? All right. Just in time for me to say, we're going to take a few moments here together for our own personal prayers and reflections, and we'll jump back in together on 180 with Oseh Shalom. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'yimeru. Amen. We're going to jump forward now in the prayer book to page 371 for our Misha Berach, our prayer for healing. So in our congregation, we're praying tonight for Todd Adams, Genevieve Adomai, Raphael Alieti, Kathleen Al-Jalad, David Ben Esther, Terry Bennett, Barry Berkowitz, Tina Bingle, Thomas Brophy, Louis Calstatera, Tegan Christofferson, Bob Dickman, Caitlin Eckert, Arthur Adel, Matthew Epstein, Sandra Goodman, Sheila Hickok, Walt Huber, Sarit Katsu, Reverend Rebecca Kindig, Ilana Levine, Helen Lewis, Brooke Little, John McFeely, Rowan Nicciolino, Jeremy, Manny, and Robin Orden, Maxine and Scott Oringer, Ken Roberts, Jim Rosenstein, Jennifer Stile, Dick Watanabe, Rhonda Waxman, Elena Witter, Phyllis Young, Debbie Zapataki, Eugenia Zaroli, and Jaeger Zopp. And if you'd care to add any names to that list tonight, then just raise your hand. We'll get the mic kind of down by you so you can say something.
Carrie Kane,
Thank you.
Elvin and Yemaya B'nai Shmuel, Emmett Ruvain, Vivian Collabza, and Tony DiGirolamo.
Thank you. I think Sebastian does. Sorry.
Ross Mateo.
Thank you. All right, we're on page 371. Misha Beirach Avoteinu Mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Beirach imotenu mekor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Praying for a refuah shalema, a complete and speedy recovery for all those that we're holding in our hearts this evening. All right, folks, just got a little bit of Torah to share with you and discuss if you're into it tonight. We are on Parashat Toldot this week, which is kind of all about Isaac, right? Isaac is pretty much a child throughout the majority of the previous Parsha, and this is when Isaac kind of comes into his own as an independent character, as a young man who's kind of going out into the world and doing his own thing. So here's a passage from our Torah portion this week. Isaac dug anew the wells which had been dug in the days of his father Avraham, and which the Philistines had stopped up after Avraham's death. And he gave them the same names that his father had given them. That's Genesis 26, it's verse 18. For many readers, the lives of Abraham and Jacob stand out much more than the life of Isaac, to the extent that some tend to regard Isaac as a generally passive figure, the kind of person to whom things happen, rather than someone who makes things happen. And indeed, those moments when something is being done to Isaac, when his father is preparing to make a burnt offering of him, or when his son is taking advantage of his blindness to scam him out of a blessing, those moments do tend to stand out in a narrative sense. There are times in his life when Isaac is being more proactive, however. The trouble is that at such times, much of what he's doing appears to retread old ground already covered by his father Abraham, digging old wells anew, as it were. In literary terms, this kind of rehashing might not make for very interesting reading as a story. But life and literature need to be evaluated on very different terms. And I think this aspect of Isaac fares a lot better when we view it as a life led rather than as a story to be enjoyed. There are two reasons for this. First, despite our tendency to be a bit more excited hearing about a person setting out in a brand new direction, this world very much needs the type of person who's concerned with preserving and repairing institutions rather than tearing them down to try something new. That kind of consistency and reliability is an important part of what makes genuine long-term improvement possible. And that is the second thing about Isaac. He doesn't just limit himself to redigging the wells that were first dug by his father. He goes on to dig new wells of his own. When Isaac's servants, digging in the Wadi, found there a well of spring water, the herdsmen of Gerar quarreled with Isaac's herdsmen, saying, "The water is ours." He named that well Esek, because they contended with him. And when they dug another well, they disputed over that one also, so he named it Sitnah. He moved from there and dug yet another well, and they did not quarrel over it. So he called it Rehovot, saying, "Now at last God has granted us ample space to increase in this land." For Isaac, patience and persistence are ultimately rewarded with space. The space to live and to grow, to put down roots. Isaac is the first person in the family to stay in one place long enough to practice agriculture, to build upon the achievements of the previous generation and to carry them further than the previous generation was able to do alone. These are things that many of us long for, but find difficult to attain. And I think perhaps Isaac is a useful ancestor to study in that regard. So my question for us to discuss tonight, if you're interested in discussing, is this. What do you make of Isaac's practice of digging old wells anew, of digging up the old wells that Abraham before him had dug, but then got filled in later by the Philistines? And is it more important to preserve what's come down to us, or is it more important sometimes to strike a new path? Just some springboards for reflection. If you've got another thing that you want to share, that's fine too. But just raise your hand if you'd like us to send the mic around to you to say something.
I'm going to say the ability to do both, to take what is good from the past and build new things for the future is the best way that you can be, because we can't, there's always something good in the past. There may be other things that we want to let go of and realize are not good, but that's what's the phrase of throwing the baby out with the bathwater. But realizing that there are going to be new things that you need to do, like, if you've got a big enough herd, you need more wells, you need more things, so you want to keep your old ones well, and you want to do that. I'd also just like to say one other thing. You've heard me say this already about Isaac, that of the three patriarchs, Isaac is the only one who, when a wife was unable to have a child, went and prayed to God for a child. So he may not have been this exciting, vibrant, run away from home going things, but he certainly was someone to be admired for caring for those who were close to him.
Thank you. Sorry, folks, I'm not ignoring any of you. I'm kind of glancing back and forth between people on Zoom and people who are here. Yeah, go ahead, Robin.
It's hard to put into words, but the thought of going back and reopening the wells that Abraham had dug seems very respectful and almost, I'm not sure of the word, but wanting to go back and to the source in many ways of their experience, possibly.
Thank you.
So what was coming up for me was, just sort of the phrase like they don't make them like they used to kind of a thing.
Okay.
In the sense that, yes, obviously, things tend to, unless they're like craftsmanship quality or something these days, tend to not last as long. They're just sort of intended to be obsolete in a few years or, fall apart and be semi-disposable. Whereas, things made before might last longer, but maybe they had a bigger environmental footprint, if you will, like, large but strong gas-guzzling cars, for example. So there's some trade-offs there. So I do like the idea of, just as Rabbi Rachel was saying, of kind of like taking the good from the past and bringing that with us and the wisdom from everyone that went before, but also not being afraid to look toward greener solutions or, better solutions in general, depending on the situation. And some of that has to kind of straddle both the world of the past and the future. And I do see what you're saying, where Isaac was playing that role, and that we need folks that are able to straddle that line.
Thanks. All right. Got room for another comment if anyone's got one. All right. Well, let's wrap it up there. Thanks, folks, for all your comments tonight. Let's continue on, though, in the Siddur. Oop. Let me just share this back onto the screen where we were at. And we're going to turn to page 587. Page 587. I'm going to invite you to rise with us if you're able and comfortable doing so for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגור עלינו להמליך מלכותו, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Let's read together in English on 591. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding, loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad Ushemo Ushemo Ushmo Echad. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, to our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people and whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. And in our congregational community this week, we remember the yardsites of Edward Esserman, Eva Rosenberg, Anna Bernstein, Marion Goldman, Sanford Kleinberg, Siegfried Sternberg, Richard Antoon, Martin Nachsen, Dr. Henry Rappaport, Irving Pelter, and Norman Marks. The Mourner's Cottage is on page 598. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma Divra Chirute v'yamlik Malchute, B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'galau v'zman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehi Shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam ulolmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal Shemei dekudsha b'riku le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechamata damiran be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehi Shalama Rabba min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru, Amen. Ose Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol Yoshvei Tevel ve'imru, Amen. And may their memories be for a blessing. Thanks, folks. Feel free to have a seat for a little bit. Just a couple quick announcements. We are, in fact, having a Torah discussion tomorrow morning, so feel free to roll in if you are able to do so. And of course, it's on Zoom as usual. I think we've resolved any remaining issues with Zoom. Upcoming Sunday, I believe that's this Sunday, December 1st. Is the Sisterhood Rummage Sale. Apparently they're having a buy one sweater, get one free sale, which is a pretty good time for it. And then Tuesday morning of this coming week, that's December 3rd, is going to be the Tuesday morning book club. They're discussing The Wolf Hunt by Eledit Gunder Goshen. The board meeting is on Tuesday, December 10th, the following week. And then also, I'm going to make a plug here for Sunday, December 22nd, so it's a few weeks off, is going to be the next in our series of community-wide adult education programs. That's going to be the program is called Midrashic Responses to October 7th from Israeli Women. And that one's going to be led, I believe, by Rabbi Friedman of Temple Israel, and it's going to be at Temple Israel over in Vestal. It's from 10 o'clock to noon, as these programs always are. They really do prefer for people to RSVP so we can know like how much food to get. So you got several weeks to RSVP, folks. So please do so, and please consider going. It's been a really awesome. It's a really cool program. It's a really great opportunity for the communities to come together and learn together. So looking forward to it. We're going to wrap it up here on page 625 with Adon Olam. And then we'll repair into the social hall for Oneg. Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem kol yitzir nivra, le'yeit nasa, v'chavto kol, azai melech shemo nikra, ve'yacharei kichlot hakol, levado yimloch nora, ve'hu haya, Vehu hoveh, vehu yiyeh b'tifara, vehu echad, ve'ein sheni, להמשיל לך בירה, בלי ראשית, בלי תכלית, ולא העוז והמשרה. והוא אלי, וחי גואלי, וצור חבלי ביצרה, והוא ניסי ומנוסי, מנת כוסי ביום אקרא. בידו אפקיד רוחי, בהיותי שם מהירה, ועם רוחי גוויעתי, אדוני לי ולא יירא. Right. Hamotzi lachem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lachem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us this evening.
Shabbat shalom.